Alright, here we go. The names that ring strange, and I like games. The good, the bad, the ones that are playing strange. Used to go out and raise the dead, now I just play Nintendo instead. I'm going back again, I'm buying them all, even if it takes me selling my soul. Oh, oh, motherfucker, oh, 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 oh.
Whenever people talk about WWF wrestling video games, they always talk about the NES ones, probably because they suck. Or the AKI ones for the N64, probably because they're amazing. But instead, today, I'm going to talk about one of my personal favorites. Smackdown Shut Your Mouth for the PlayStation 2. Random as hell, I know. First of all, let's talk about the game's title, Shut Your Mouth. Like, wow, okay game, go fuck yourself. Who the fuck names a game's subtitle after an insulting command? I mean, yeah, I know it's one of the old school rock sayings from way back in the day, but still, great fucking marketing. Imagine calling up your friends to have them come over and play this game with you. Oh, hey guys, you want to come over and play the new Smackdown game? Oh, sure, Aaron, which one is it? Shut your mouth. Excuse me? Clicks, hangs up, and then you're left to play by yourself. Let's just play the game already. Now you may think I'm biased towards my enjoyment of this game, because around this time of 2001, 2002-ish, WWE used The Beautiful People by Marilyn Manson as SmackDown's theme song for a while. Not that I'm gonna show the music playing in the background because I don't feel like getting sued. And we all know how much I love Marilyn Manson. I don't feel like getting sued by my idol. Actually, on that subject, back then, when I first discovered in this game you could use The Beautiful People as your entrance music, first of all, I had to have about 37 fucking orgasms. Well, I clearly used it as my custom wrestler's theme song. The Manson song I'm talking about, not sound effects from me orgasming. That would be gross. That would be a little too much information. I'm a private person when it comes to that shit, believe it or not. But yeah, anyway, here's the kinda up-to-date me that I created in this game. Complete with the douchebag haircut, the tattoos, and mutant carrot top shoulders. Because, what the fuck? Seriously, what the fuck's the matter with my guy? Actually, all the custom wrestlers look like that. They have fucking weird-ass, deformed shoulders. And here's the really old-school me, back from the early 2000s, when I looked like a chick. Around this time, I only had a few tattoos, and I wore a fucking smoky eye that would make an emo chick's vagina melt. So, we got a fuckload of wrestlers to pick from. Everybody's here. Well, at the time of 2002 at least. We got Lesnar, Undertaker, back when he was a biker asshole, Kane, Austin, Rikishi, the Hardys, Shawn Stasiak, remember him? Goldust, Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, and that was because this was when the NWO came to the WWE for the first time. We'll get to that later. Also, you can change Hulk Hogan back to his classic ketchup and mustard colors. And if you don't feel like picking somebody off of the real roster, of course we've got every fucked up person's favorite, the creation modes, where you can spend hours making your own diabolical digital mutants. Now you gotta keep in mind, these were still semi-early 3D times in video games, so all your custom characters look like fucked up, misshapen mannequin freak shows half the time. Like, look at my face right here. Unintentionally terrifying as fuck. But then, look at my brother Mark. Christ, it looks just fucking like the kid. Oh, and there's Fitz too, he makes an appearance. He's gonna be pissed when he sees this. Hey, I made these characters years ago. It is what it is, so Fitz, if you're watching this, get over yourself. You could also be an asshole and make people's arms and limbs wicked long and shit. Like this dude I made called Monster. His arms are like longer than his body and he can pull people out of the ring from a fucking mile away. Because that's fair. But when it comes to making deformed freaks, the best would have to go to Raw 2 on the old school Xbox. Look at the size of the characters you could create. Holy Jesus fucking Christ. He takes up the entire screen almost. And there's another guy I made called Mini Ninja, who's about a foot tall. Random as hell, I just wanted to kind of fit him in there. It's hilarious as fuck, but it screws up the entire hit detection for the wrestlers, so you just keep ramming into each other. That sounded kinda fucking sexy, right? I can't lie. I'm actually slightly aroused right about meow. Okay, back to Smackdown. So where the grapple mechanics in the older key games for the N64 were all strategic and shit, and the buttons were context sensitive, meaning you hold them down to make your attack stronger. But at times, it can be confusing for beginners because you gotta be some kind of fucking mathematician to figure out the controls. In these early PS2 Smackdown games, the controls are a little more simplistic. Almost like a pick up and play arcade game. Like, X is punch or kick, and circle is all the different grapples and stuff when you push the D-pad in different directions alongside with it. That's always something that seemed kinda intense in any wrestling game. Just take a look at the instruction manuals for this game. Holy mother of fuck. Opponent on mat, behind opponent, strike and attack, pin opponent, minimum damage, min damage, back attack, back grapple, die from the cage. Like, what in the rainbow bright fuck is all of this shit supposed to mean? Imagine being some kid, or someone in general that's just picking up this game for the first time, and they're not even a wrestling fan. They're not gonna know half of this shit. There's so many wrestling terms, they'd be lost beyond belief. Then again, you've got this ridiculous simplistic shit with 2 fucking buttons for the old school NES games. But, personally, I'd rather be caught raping a pile of jagged rocks than play that shit ever again. And there's also this shit for the Atari. Actually, this is a boxing game, because I'm fucking retarded as fuck, and I'm a little buzzed right now, so let's pretend this clip didn't just happen. So yeah, we get all kinds of moves, because, come on, it's a wrestling game. There's all the classics, like Triple H's pedigree, chokeslam, people's elbow, Stone Cold Stunner, sweet chin music, which always sounded like a fucking porno to me. Sweet chin music? As in the money shot? Okay, come on, I know I'm not the only pervert in town. You can give your custom guys whatever moves you want. Like, of course, here I gave myself the Swanton Bomb, because back then, I had a huge man crush on Jeff Hardy. After a few years, I graduated to crushing pretty hard on CM Punk, until I found out how much of a moody fuck he could be. Don't tell him I said that. Why in the fuck did I just tell you guys all that? I'd say let's forget about the last 11 seconds of this episode, but you know what? Fuck it. Who the hell cares? It's a new millennium, right? Speaking of not giving a fuck, most wrestling video games have a season mode, which is the equivalent of a story mode, basically. And this one's kinda tedious as fuck. You can be a real WWE guy, or you can play as one of your fucked up custom characters. And here, in my case, of course I picked myself, because I'm vain as fuck. In between shows like Smackdown and Raw, you run around in a first-person view and talk to wrestlers who are hanging around. Unfortunately, most of them happen to be dickheads. At one point, you talk to Vince McMahon and Ric Flair sometimes, because this is when the shows Raw and Smackdown divided the company for the first time, and the wrestlers were drafted to separate shows. Also, at one point, Vince loses it, and he gets to take part in the storyline where he hires the NWO to destroy the WWE. Back in real wrestling, or, I mean, scripted real wrestling, whatever, you know what I mean. Back in the early 2000s, Hogan had a pretty big rivalry with The Rock, but in this game, it's your character. Well, if you selected your created character. So here we see Hogan and the NWO constantly beating the shit out of me. Fucking old dickheads. And right there it looks like Hogan's copping a feel. That's me in the ambulance that Hogan just plowed a fucking truck into. I'd say that's a little extreme, but I'm pretty fucked up. And honestly, I'd probably do the same fucking thing if I was pissed off enough. Right here I'm arguing with Brock Lesnar in the ring. And I just knocked him out with a single punch. Yeah, okay. I mean, I have been going to the gym a lot lately, but still. Brock Lesnar, me, Brock Lesnar, me, yeah, ain't gonna happen. And now, we got Stacy Keibler handing me a present backstage. Well, thanks a lot, Dollface. I got a present for you too. It involves my dick and a box. Besides the game's season mode feeling repetitive as hell, one huge thing that drags it down is like every match you play is a tag team match. And what makes that suck ass is every single fucking time you go to pin one of your opponents, his tag partner comes in and breaks up the pin. Every fucking time. And your computer controlled partner doesn't even come in to bail you out. What a lazy asshole. So, that means when you think you've kicked the shit out of the guy in the ring enough to pin him, you gotta run all the way to the opposite corner, knock down his opponent, hope he stays down, and you've got maybe just enough time to pin the main guy before the other guy gets back up, jumps into the ring, and breaks up your fucking pin for the 753rd fucking time. Pain in the fucking ass. And like I said, I swear, it's like every other match you play in season mode is a tag match just like this. Well, anyway, even though I've been rambling a lot, I did say at the beginning of this episode that this was one of my favorite wrestling games because of the random little stuff you can do in it. And that's what she said. You can climb on top of the giant fist on the Smackdown set and jump fucking from like 80 feet up and land on the assholes behind you. That sounds pretty sexy, doesn't it? Anyway, it's really funny seeing overly fat guys do it too. Like, yeah, he's dead. Look at him twitching. That guy is not alive anymore. Then there's the insane 6-man Battle Royal Hell in a Cell matches. Where there's so much shit going on, you just gotta kick the shit out of everyone and throw people off the cell. Yeah, fuck you. Go to hell, get the hell off my cell. That rhymed way too much. Also, fun fact, depending on the weather outside, you can leave the venue, run into traffic, ride the subway train, and you can even have snowball fights. That's right, snowball fights. That is the most coolest fucking thing ever. And if you don't think so, you're a liar. As I've said before, why play a first-person shooter like Halo to shoot people when you can race each other? Well, in this case, why play a wrestling game to actually simulate wrestling when you can have fucking snowball fights? You know, that's actually probably some deep metaphor for everything in my life. Like, why start a YouTube channel to make game review videos that nobody watches and edit them when you can just use the same hardware to watch porn all the time? And that seems like a fantastic way to end this episode, by talking about jerking off. Well, you crazy fucks have a fantastic night. I'll see you again in episode 26. Whatever the fuck that happens to be, because I have no idea.